Week one was a good week in football, but here's a few tight ends I don't want on my roster heading into week two. So the first tight end I would look to drop this week, Zach Ertz of the Philadelphia Eagles. So Zach Ertz, number two in the pecking order at the tight end position over there in Philly. Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert hit for a late first half touchdown in that ball game at the Atlanta Falcons in week one. And that game, Zach Ertz only 2 catches, 34 yards on 2 targets. And he got pulled in that ball game as well with a hamstring injury. Supposedly it's only precautionary, but he's going under further tests here, is Ertz, and we'll see if more word comes out to see if he's all right for week two. But right now, he's number two in the pecking order. This week, a few tight ends emerged as waiver wire pickups. And right now, Zach Ertz, he's a player that really shouldn't be owned in many fantasy leagues, in my opinion. He's just a name value, and right now, he's a tight end I will look to drop this week. If he gets going or Goddard goes down, then I will go out there and pick him up. But right now, he just didn't look right in week one, and he's already banged up a little with the hamstring injury. Even if it's serious or not, the second tight end I would look to drop this week's Austin Hooper of the Cleveland Browns. So Austin Hooper, I wasn't a fan of him coming into the fantasy season as a tight end here, but a lot of people were high on Hooper. I know it's only one game, but in this game, he took a back seat, in my opinion, to Njoku, the other tight end, obviously, who's more athletic, a little quicker in my opinion, and more of a playmaker. And Njoku in that ball game, 3 receptions, 76 yards. And in this one, Austin Hooper, 3 catches for 27 yards. And Njoku outplayed him. And Austin Hooper, the last season with the Browns, didn't do much. And this season, I'm not expecting much. And right now, in my opinion, he's owned in way too many fantasy leagues. At 52% of leagues, here is Austin Hooper. And he's owned in just about all the leagues I'm in. So right now, I don't think he's going to have much impact. Baker Mayfield had no Odell Beckham in this game, and he still didn't even look Hooper's way much. So right here, once Beckham comes back, that's even more targets taken away here from Hooper. And he's a player that I just don't want to deal with this season. I don't think he's going to be that productive, and I don't ever think he's going to come close to matching that great season he had a few years ago with the Atlanta Falcons. So this week, I would look to drop Hooper in the third and final tight end. I would look to drop this week's Evan Ingram at the New York Giants. So Ingram, he was out in week one, obviously, with a calf injury, and he was a non-practice participant in yesterday's practice for the New York Giants. So the Giants in week two, they got a quick turnaround on Thursday Night Football at the Washington football team here, and it looks like Evan Ingram, he's probably not going to be around for that one. Right now, he's owned in 37% of fantasy leagues, but I even think that number's a little high, in my opinion. I know a few seasons ago he was a pretty good tight end, but right now, the last few seasons, especially last year with Daniel Jones, he only had 2 touchdowns. He had 654 yards, which is decent, but right here, I think his best days are behind him for Ingram. Maybe a change of scenery or a new quarterback he will do better with, but right now, he's a player that shouldn't be owned in many leagues, and he's a name value guy, just like Zach Ertz, in my opinion, and he should be dropped. So that's a few tight ends I would look to drop here heading into week 2 of the fantasy football season.